Hi, it's Nancy. You're out here with another week of how to use universal energy. And today we're going to talk about the energy of animals. I grew up on a farm in Ohio, actually. And we always had animals. And, I think all of us know that we can communicate with animals, and all of us can get that certain vibe if we know a dog or a cat or whatever pet it is friendly. Recently we had a dog that we had for my daughter had for about 12 years, and he was part of everybody's family. Even though he was at her house when we came to visit, he was always part of our family too. His name was Bailey. And she just had to put him to sleep because he had developed cancer. And, I told her, and this is something that I want to tell everybody, that, you know, um, dogs and cats, animals, horses, whatever, chickens, they all have souls. It's kind of I don't know, silly to think that they don't. When you look into an animal's eyes, you can see their soul just like you can see a person's. And I told her, and I'm going to mention it to everyone, that when an animal, uh, a pet that you love, passes, there is a place, a higher place, and I call it heaven, that they go. And I believe that when we leave this plane and when we go to heaven, that our animals are there to greet us. Now, that may seem far-fetched to some people, but I think that's how it's supposed to be. I do believe we'll see our pets again, and that just like we'll see our loved ones again, we'll see our pets again. Pets are really cool because you can communicate with them just by being around them and noticing their mannerisms as well as they notice ours. I have a couple cats that stay with me all the time, and my husband and I love cats, and they're little people and they have their own little personalities. And I know exactly what they want when they meow a certain way or if they look at me a certain way. And it's funny how life works. We had like I mentioned, my daughter's dog had to be put down, and it was actually yesterday. And it's funny how God works because, I was so upset about my daughter's dog, and then we had a stray cat that actually I had found on the dumpster. Can you believe it? And he was stuck, and I got him out of the dumpster. And so he kind of adopted me, but we had a couple inside cats. So he was our outside cat, and we call him Boots. And Boots hasn't been around probably maybe 6 months or so, and we realized that Boots was going to have kittens. So we were quite surprised because she's a very young cat. But we knew and we could tell, and we saw that she was going to have kittens. And we tried to prepare a little bit for it, but you never know. And so yesterday was such a traumatic day with my daughter's dog. I was so upset for her. And, you care about animals just like you do people, and it's hard to lose them. And my husband came home and he says, "We have kittens on our front porch." So here we had a tragedy in one respect. And let me just say, the dog was in pain, and it was good that he's moved on, and his spirit will always be with us and in our hearts. But we had new kittens on the front porch, and so I have to say, it's interesting. When one pet leaves, it's interesting to see that new life comes in, and it's just nice to know that new pets come every day, and there's so many animals out there that aren't wanted. And I know everybody does their best to take care of the pets that are out there. But I guess what I want to say more than anything is they have energy, they have souls, and they are just like people. They can't communicate in the same way, but they are very much alive, and I believe they understand us. It's funny, I've been reading a new book. I'm very intuitive, and I don't know if I've mentioned that in any of my videos. I probably have, but I'm an intuitive person, and I can pick up on energy, and I pick up on people's thoughts and what's going on. And, it's interesting because I am reading a new book to learn how to communicate with my pets, because there's a lot of times where I really want to tune in to what they're thinking. or saying, and I think we could all do that. Maybe some of us more than others, depends on how much you make an effort. It's just like when you go to somebody's house and they have a pet. Usually that animal will know whether you're a good person or not. I always say it's a good litmus test, you know. If you have someone come to your house and they like your and their animals like you, then that means that maybe you're a good soul, right? Kids and animals can always tell if a person has good energy. Isn't that interesting? So when you're around, if you've ever seen somebody and your pet, you know, you have a pet at home and someone came and they didn't like that person, you know, think twice about that because I mean, don't think twice about that is what I'm trying to say because animals can really tell whether people have good energy or not. Just like if they feel, you know, my cats are funny. They're almost like dogs, you know, if the mailman comes up or the UPS guy comes to the door, they run to me. Hey, mom, you know, there's someone at the door. They know to let me know. It's interesting. So they're quite smart and they do have energy. And I want to say they do go to a higher plane, just like we do. So if y'all have pets out there, try to start communicating. Pay attention to what they're trying to tell you because they're very smart and they do have souls and they do have really great energy, and pay attention to what they have to say to you. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope I enlightened you a little bit on pets and energy and do they make it to heaven? And yes, they do. Until next time, you guys have a really terrific week and thanks for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Have a terrific day.